Welcome to You Know Something with Dena
Hey, look, I'm just here to entertain, inform, and keep this crazy train on track.
and Tia.
Me, I'm like your live wire that is liable to go shalom.
They're like your cool aunts.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Fun,
I can't believe you even brought that up. That is so fun.
informative,
It's impossible to dust potpourris.
You can't.
sometimes serious.
Dena, sweet child. I am almost stunned. I mean, I'm being really serious.
But most of the time, not so much.
A caca. I mean, you're caca and you're caca. No. I'm sorry.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Ladies, let's go.
Hello, welcome to You Know Something with Dena and Tia. I'm Dena.
And I'm Tia, and today is September 18th, 2024.
Miss Tia,
Dena.
for our first-time listeners, our Wednesday shows, we pick a topic, or I usually pick the topic. Tia has done some episodes. You need to do another one, girl. I pick a topic that Tia doesn't know about, and I surprise her with it, and then we just pick her brain. We hear her thoughts. She's opinionated, which is great, and pretty steadfast on her opinions, even when I give her other facts. And I love it. I love it. Sometimes we have reoccurring topics. One is just what do you mean by that, or we talk about memes. And we have one called
What the what?
where we talk about crazy headlines, news stories. And then we have Extremely Trendy, where we go to OpenX, formerly known as Twitter, and talk about whatever's trending there. The last few times I've tried to do that, it's been very dark. You know, you got the politics and the icky there. And we don't like to talk about icky stuff. We have one called Great Googly Moogly, where I go to Google and see what's trending in Google. And it's usually a little lighter and kind of a great variety of different things. So that's what I intended to do today, was Great Googly Moogly. So I went to the top story in my area, and it was about Casey Anthony. Do you remember Casey Anthony?
Yes, I do.
And I think Nancy Grace dubbed her Tot Mom. Remember, she called her Tot Mom for whatever reason. And she was found innocent of murdering her child, and that's
Right.
too dark for us. Now, and she was found innocent. What did you think about that when that happened? Just kind of off topic.
I don't know. I thought she was guilty as sin.
I did too. That was a shocker for me.
Yeah, it was a huge shocker. It was kind of like O.J. Simpson getting off. Sorry.
Tia has
Not
opinions.
sorry.
Yeah, you wonder what is going on, what happens. It could be a technicality. It could be just jurors going, I'm not going to go with the obvious. You didn't prove it to me. You know, I think it's kind of sometimes a power trip, but you have to respect jurors, I guess. But in any case, the story to you, and you may have heard this, was that she is from Florida, but she has relocated to Tennessee. We're in the southeast, so she's kind of in our neck of the woods, and I wasn't thrilled to hear that, but apparently she has started a romance, relocated for romance, let's say that, and I think he's married or getting divorced. So I thought, we don't talk about murder here, so I can't really do that one. But when I clicked, I thought I'm just going to read the article and see what it says. When I clicked on it, other scandalous people and where they are now popped up, and I thought, that's an interesting topic. Scandals, where are they now? What do you think about that?
Okay.
You want to talk about them?
Well, whatever.
Okay.
I'm at your mercy.
You kind of are. You're
Yeah.
kind of trapped here, aren't you?
Pretty much.
But I'd love to hear your opinion on these things. So we're going to call this Scandalous. Where are they now? Vol.1. Okay, here we go.
Wait a minute. You said volume 1. This is not going to be recurring, is
We'll
it?
see how it goes.
Oh.
Don't like scandals?
Not really.
All right, none of these involved murder,
Okay.
but not because they didn't try a lot. It wasn't because of lack of effort. Let's put it
Okay.
that way. It was about survival in a lot of cases. And how do you feel about that? I still haven't gotten to the show, but how do you feel when somebody does something that would kill someone, you would expect it, and that was their intention, but the person manages to be strong and survive and has great doctors and prayer, family, and they survive, and they only get charged with attempted murder, which is a lot lesser sentence.
It's ironic that you're saying this.
Really?
Yeah, because I spent this past weekend watching Evil Lives Here or Shattered or I Survived That. Yeah. I don't think, I mean, if they're trying to kill someone, then they need to go to prison or whatever for murder.
I agree. It might be a hot take. It might upset people, but
No, I don't care.
yeah, it wasn't the criminal's actions that caused them not to die. It was the victim, and whatever miracles you believe in, and doctor care and luck, that they survived.
Because I actually saw a lady, and she was shot in the face and in the heart
Oh, no.
and survived. She was in a coma for 8 days. But what happened when she was shot in the face by her husband, where he shot went, and this is, I'm sorry, it totally is divine intervention. When she was, the face shot was first, and so it went in her face, through her cheek, up to the roof of her mouth, and then missed everything and went out the side of her head. The one in the chest, he was aiming down, so it literally went in the top of her heart and exited the bottom of her heart, never hitting her heart. Go figure.
That's crazy.
So,
You know your heart's on this side, right?
yes, I mean,
You were pointing to your other
I know, but I mean, I'm just showing because it'd be awkward. I'm left-handed.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So, hello. It's harder
But
for
your
me
heart
to
is
do
on
this.
that side. Okay.
Yes, my heart's on the same side of everybody else's, but...
Well, we did learn that sometimes people's hearts are on the other side. Twins.
Okay.
Mirror twins. Sorry.
Anyway, and there's that. He did kill her mom, her dad,
Oh, no.
and then her 3 children witnessed it.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, he was, and they were very best friends, like, growing up. Her mom was a preacher. Her dad was a deacon in the church. And,
And that's the most murder that you'll hear on this show.
Yeah.
Most detailed murder. So, your point in that was he was only charged with attempted murder for her. Yeah. And it was just a miracle that
right.
she wasn't murdered. Yeah. I don't know. Good thing we don't make the rules, I guess, in the judicial system. Well, this first scandal, Tia, is a lot more lighthearted than that.
Good. I am grateful.
Unless you're them. It's lighthearted for us. Okay, we're going to travel back in time, and we're going to work our way back up with the other scandals. But remember 1989, where you were.
No.
Got it? Rather not
I'm going to have to really think.
All right, I'm going to say 2 words, and you tell me.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do remember.
All right. Here are the two words. Milli Vanilli.
Oh, absolutely.
Were you a Milli Vanilli fan?
I love their song that they came out with.
Well, don't feel bad because I did too. I was a big fan.
I didn't feel bad.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I loved it.
I did too. I mean, okay. Let's get into it. Rob and Fab. They looked great. They danced.
Mm-hmm.
The songs were, I mean, you cannot deny those songs. They're still good songs.
Right.
All right. And for you young people that are listening, we do have a lot more younger listenings according to our analytics now. So welcome, teenagers. Milli Vanilli was a band, a duo. They were from Germany, and they were created, quote, by Frank Farian, who is a producer, music producer. And I don't know if I should give away the scandal first. Anyway, I'm just going to tell the story for those who don't know. If you were alive during those times, you know what happened, and you know them, their music. We'll have Tia sing a few of them in a minute, and that way it'll refresh your memory. But their debut...
Not
she
a
says no.
chance.
Their debut album was called All or Nothing in Europe, and their songs were Baby, Don't Forget My Number.
Yeah, no, Dena's going to sing them, apparently.
Well, you said you wouldn't. Blame It on the Rain. Blame It on the Rain.
Are we going to have to sing every one of them?
Girl, you know it's true. Yes, I will be singing. No, those are their top three. But I bought the cassette. I sat on the beach. I remember very specifically sitting on the beach in Florida with my little cassette player and my headphones listening to Milli Vanilli. And when it finished, I flipped it over and played the other side. Did you buy their music, or did you just turn it up when it came on the radio?
I don't remember if I bought the music or not. I just remember, like, I loved it when it came on the radio, and I would turn it up.
Yeah, you're not the only one. It was extremely...
And it was in clubs, too.
Oh, yeah, great to dance to.
But extremely good to dance to.
They became one of the most popular pop acts in the late 1980s and into the early 90s. They sold 7 million records in America alone. I don't really know how to compare that now with other bands, but I think it's pretty good. They sold 30 million singles. I think I checked Taylor Swift, and she has sold like 130 million, but that's been for many, Taylor Swift's been around a while. I was thinking about that the other day. They were just popular for a few years, so they really were doing well. They won a Grammy Award for Best New Artist in 1990. And like I said, they were friends. They were both from Germany and Paris. It's Rob Pilatus and is from Munich. Fabrice Morvan was from Paris, and they called themselves Fab and Rob. Which did you think was cuter, Fab or Rob?
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't.
Fab is the, this one. Rob is this one.
Okay, you're showing me a picture of them with hats on. I never saw them with hats.
True. They had their, like, spandex shorts, signature spandex shorts that they wore.
I know, but I saw them with long hair.
Bead. Yeah. They've just got him back in a hat. Well, he was very unique looking. He had, like, light eyes. I mean, I think they were both really attractive. So he did too. The producer thought so too, but he wasn't crazy about their voices. So he said, here's what we're going to do. I've got all these great songs. You guys have a great look. You're great dancers. Let's just start out using these session singers, and eventually you guys can sing more, but let's just get through this, because they had heavy accents.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't great at speaking English.
Right.
So he felt like that would affect the singing voice. He just had this plan, and they were hungry. They weren't rich. They wanted to get in the music industry, so they signed a contract without reading it carefully. They didn't quite understand it because the contract was written in English.
Mm-hmm.
So he just kept saying, yeah, you guys will get to sing. Well, they got stuck in that situation. Getting money, hit it big, but they had to lip sync to every performance. So you can imagine, okay, you go in the studio. Well, I guess they didn't even have to go in the studio, did they? All they had to do was choreograph and get up and dance, but they had to do performances on stage, on TV shows, and lip sync.
Right.
How long can you sustain that? I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Well, I don't know, because they started calling out every single recording artist after that for lip syncing.
Yeah, that kind of changed the way we looked at it, because, you know, a lot of
Yes.
shows, a singer will go on and lip sync because the studio's not right, or they don't have all their musicians, or
Right.
there's special effects in the song. And I think we kind of, when you think about Ashley Simpson when she was on Saturday Night Live, Jessica Simpson's sister, I liked her music. She had a good debut album, but they played the same song the second time she came out, and she was lip syncing, so it didn't match up. She just kind of did a little do-si-do off the stage, if you recall. But she had a bad throat problem. She could sing. She was singing her music, but she had a throat issue, so they decided to lip sync, and it just ruined her music career. I don't think that would happen now. But so they were kind of stuck in that situation. But people started saying, "How come you don't sing with an accent? You know, you can barely speak English." But I have heard of singers, you know, like British singers will sing and you can't tell they have a British.
Right. They act the same way.
Yeah, exactly. So on one event with, you remember Downtown Julie Brown?
No.
She was a VJ on MTV. She was there with this, it's like a festival they were having, and the music started skipping, and Rob panicked and just ran off the stage because it was repeating over and over again. I think it was good, good girl, you know it's true, good, good girl. So he just ran off the stage, and she ran and got him and said, "Look, it doesn't matter. Just come back out. It's a festival. Everybody's having fun. Just, you got to finish. If you run off and don't come back, that's going to be the news story." So he came back, and well, they got through that one. And then people started getting suspicious, and finally, you know, the real singers came out and said, "Well, now that you're talking about it, it was actually me, and I'm not making that much money, so it's always going to fail." So it'd be kind of like Few and Tia. Somebody heard our podcast. They loved the way we looked.
Wow.
They loved our concept. Dena and Tia, it sounds pretty good. But they didn't like our voices. Can you imagine people not liking our voices?
Yes, I can. Especially mine.
No, mine.
Yes.
So they wanted maybe 2 British voices to do our voices. But we had to show up and move our mouths. That would be very difficult to do that. But they offered you a lot of money. Would you agree to that?
No, I would fail because there's no way I could lip sync nothing. Especially me talking.
Talking would be difficult.
Especially to a British accent.
Yeah.
Straight away. Straight away, I knew it.
Okay. But poor Rob and Bab got stuck in this nightmare. And they really felt like they could sing. So eventually, you know, the real singers came out and they got their Grammy taken away. It was really devastating. It was embarrassing. And they were trying to make a comeback. Well, this guy, Frank, that did all this, he kind of distanced himself from them. Like, you guys are on your own. But they tried to do their own album. They didn't really sing that good. Because I can remember wanting to support them because I loved them.
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't great. So then this guy, Frank, came back and said, "Okay, water under the bridge. Let's start fresh. We got it found out. I'm going to give you a chance." So he worked with him to make an album, but people were they were ruined, you know. People were just over these guys, over the fakeness.
Well, Dena, they were not good singers.
They were.
I know.
You
so
remember
let's just go ahead and just say what it was. They were not good singers. So
Yeah, I agree. So it's kind of like...
They were pretty, but they just couldn't sing.
Exactly.
They should have been models
you
instead
go.
of singers.
Yeah, actors. You're absolutely right, Tia, once again. So...
Once again,
Where are they now? Do you know where they are?
I don't think they're friends anymore.
So when they decided to do the album again with their original producer, Pilatus, Rob, encountered a number of personal problems during the album's production. He turned to drugs and actual crime. He committed assaults and robberies. I think he was just really desperate for money and had some issues. Probably was stealing for the drugs. He was sentenced to 3 months in jail and 6 months in a drug rehab facility. On the eve of the new album's promotional tour in 1998, Pilatus, Rob, was found dead of a suspected prescription drug overdose in a hotel room in Frankfurt, Germany. It was ruled an accident, which is sad. Did you know he had passed?
Well, that's why I'm almost about to laugh because I don't think they're friends anymore. Well, no, they can't be.
When you said that, I tried not to respond.
Okay. Well, you should have. Well, you're right on that one.
I mean, it wouldn't be a great friendship, but I guess you could be friends. All right. So, Fab, in 2011, Fab released the single Anytime. I don't recall it. In 2015, TMZ reported that Fab was working on an album with John Davis, one of the original Milli Vanilli singers. He called it Face Meets Voice. I don't remember it. In 2016, he appeared in a documentary-style KFC commercial that focused on his life and music career. KFC commercial. Rob is still around. He is 58 years old. And Rob died at 33. So Rob is still around and kicking it and trying to do stuff. And I think Rob was maybe it wasn't the scandal that caused him to do what he did. Maybe he was just, since Fab is okay. I keep getting them mixed up. Fab is okay, so maybe Rob was just, had some weaknesses that he just could not handle that scandal that happened, which, I'm like you, I think he could have been a model, for sure. So I'm kind of thinking, I was sitting here thinking about Fab. I feel like I should buy his single or download it. You can download singles on Spotify and they get credit for it and it doesn't cost you anything.
I'm not.
Well, they brought me happiness.
Okay.
They wore the shorts.
I'm not going to do it.
All right. I'll include a link to his music if anybody out there feels sorry for Fab. Now, let me just ask you, what do you think about that situation? Who do you think's to blame? We
The producer.
Totally, you think it was him?
Mm-hmm. 1,000% I do. Because he had him to sign a contract and they didn't really understand it. And I just think he was taking advantage of people that had the look and he knew that he was going to make some money off of it. And he's just rude.
Yeah. I think history books should say that they were okay guys. They didn't really do anything wrong. So we want to redeem Rob and Fab. All right, Tia, we're going to travel forward in time from 1989 to 1992. Let's think about 1992.
Okay.
Mine was okay, I guess. What do you think of when you hear the Long Island Lolita?
I don't think anything.
Do you know what it is?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Amy Fisher. Joey Buttafuoco.
Oh.
It's all coming back.
Yes, I do.
That was a big
I
crime
hope I'm
story.
thinking the right one.
Amy Fisher.
Did she not shoot somebody in the face?
She did. Joey Buttafuoco was a auto parts. He was pretty successful, I think, guy. In New Jersey. No, I'm sorry. Nassau County, New York. Buttafuoco was married to Mary. He first met 15-year-old Amy Fisher when her father took his car to be repaired at his garage in 1990. The two began a sexual relationship around 1991. So that means Fisher would have been 16 at most. Depends on when her birthday was. When Fisher took her vehicle to Buttafuoco's auto body shop, Fisher later said she had damaged the car several times as a pretext just to see him. So she's already doing psycho, damaging her own car just so she can go.
Right, and it's kind of like I told you at the beginning of this. There were signs.
That's right.
There were signs.
Tia is a crime drama watcher, and she's going to recognize these things. So that's the first red flag, right?
No, that they were having sex when she was 16.
Oh, yeah,
was
that's a
first.
huge...
No, that's bad wrong.
Bad. On May 19th, 1992, Fisher confronted Buttafuoco's wife, Mary Jo, at the home.
Mm-hmm.
When Mary Jo answered the door, Fisher was posing as her own fictitious sister, Anne Marie, and offered as proof of the affair a T-shirt that Joey had given her with his logo on the Audibotto logo on it. I don't know how
Auto body. I think you were trying to get those in there real quick. Audio body. It was like, I don't know. I think you were confused about audio body.
Auto body shop. Now, I don't think that's a proof of you're having an affair with somebody because you have their T-shirt with the logo on it. But the front porch confrontation escalated. And they kind of skipped through a lot, but I would basically say she wanted him to leave his wife, and he didn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Would be the thing.
That's exactly what happened.
Imagine that. And when Mary Jo demanded that Fisher leave and turned to go into the house to call Joey, Fisher shot her in the face.
Mm-hmm.
A .25 caliber semi-automatic pistol. Now that's a smaller caliber, right, Tia?
But not as small as a 22.
22 is a little smaller, okay. So, and like the woman you were talking about earlier, she was shot in the face.
Mm-hmm. But hers did significant damage.
Did. Once Mary Joan regained consciousness, she identified Fisher as her assailant. The subsequent court case involving a series of conflicting claims received significant news coverage. I remember it well.
Mm-hmm.
In both mainstream news outlets and tabloids. Buttafuoco's lawyer maintained that Buttafuoco was never involved with Fisher, and Fisher had invented this affair. While Fisher's lawyer portrayed Fisher as the victim, who Joey Buttafuoco manipulated into committing the assault. After Fisher's assault conviction, Buttafuoco was indicted on 19 counts of statutory rape, sexual assault, and endangering the welfare of a child. He initially pleaded not guilty. He later changed his plea to guilty, admitting that he did have an affair with Fisher when she was 16 and he knew her age. He was sentenced to 6 months in jail and was released after serving 4 months and 9 days of the sentence. Now, what is Tia's take on that? Who's the guilty parties? Or the guiltiest parties, I guess.
Her and him, not the wife. The wife was completely oblivious to everything that was going on. She apparently trusted her husband, and it's scary how people can just go from nothing to bam out of this world when it comes to like jealousy, greed, whatever.
Lust.
It just lust. And he was old enough, and that could have been his daughter.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and he actually had a daughter.
I know.
I'd have to look up her age, but how do you go? I'm like you. How do you go from, oh, I just had my car fixed and the owner's kind of cute, to bashing your car in, to go back to...
You've got some serious problems. Apparently, daddy problems.
That sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yes.
So, and what do you think about his sentence? You think it should have been more?
Of course I do.
I do too.
Way more.
For the sexual assault, to me. I don't know what the standard thing is for statutory rape or whatever, but the murder plot, I never knew if... I don't think he would have approved that, her doing that, because he knew it was a dumb plan. You know, only because it would be a dumb plan, you're going to get caught. You know what I mean? Do you think he was involved in it?
I don't know. Yeah. Nothing surprises me.
Obviously, it couldn't be proved because he didn't get charged for that. So, as you said, Mary Jo was severely injured. Her face was, like, paralyzed on one side.
Mm-hmm.
I think she temporarily lost some vision in one eye. Took a long road to recovery.
And numerous surgeries.
Exactly. So Fisher, I think I recall the attention on her was that she was attractive. You know, she was a little flirty, and people talked about the way she looked, which I remember finding disgusting at the time for what she did. You know, she didn't, quote, look like a murderer, you know. But when she was arrested, she was charged with attempted murder. And there we go again. Guilty of first-degree aggravated assault. And what sentence do you think she got?
I don't remember, but it wasn't enough.
5 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Is that ridiculous?
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous.
Fisher was released from prison after serving 7 years. So if she was, say, 17, say it took her that long to go to trial, she was 24 or something when she got out. Her life was just starting. She had already paid the price for that, quote, paid the price. And Mary Jo was still probably struggling at that time. Fisher was released from prison after serving 7 years. She embarked on a career as a writer. She started writing for some kind of newspaper. Webcam model, and adult entertainment actress. Amy claimed that in her conversations with Joey, he complained a lot about Mary Jo and casually insinuated that it would be nice if someone killed Mary because they could be together. I don't remember this, but in 2006, Fisher reunited with Mary Jo Buttafuoco in sessions televised by Entertainment Tonight and The Insider. Fisher said she wanted to heal and move on with her life. However, 2 years later, she said she felt no sympathy for Mary Jo, and she reunited with Buttafuoco for the first time in the lingerie bowl for the coin toss. She also was on Celebrity Rehab, Dr. Drew. In October 2007, she started filming videos. I have to be careful what I say here. Adult videos. And did that for a while. And now she has a website that you can go to. I'm not going to give it or the link. A webcam thing so you can watch her on camera. She did get married.
Bless her heart.
So she got into the adult entertainment industry, as I said, with encouragement from her husband. They did have some children. She now resides in Long Island with her 3 children from her she's divorced now, from her former marriage to Louis Valera. They divorced in 2015. For several years she did work as an adult film actress until she retired from the industry in 2011. She went on to launch her own webcam site where she still, quote, performs. Mary Jo, that's who we should be concerned with, right?
Absolutely.
Mary Jo is now 69. In 2006, Mary Jo, she defended him for a while and stayed with him for a while and said he wouldn't do that.
Which wasn't smart.
No. I never understood the fighting over that man.
Ugh.
It was rough. I just didn't find him attractive myself, but in 2006, she underwent a facial reanimation procedure because, as we said before, her face was saggy on one side, like she'd had a stroke, which I guess she kind of had. A facial plastic surgeon involving static facial suspension, facelift, and eyelift procedures were done. These surgeries restored the balance of her face and gave her back her ability to smile completely. The next surgery was to widen her ear canal, which improved her hearing and prevented future infections. She also underwent physical therapy to strengthen her facial muscles, which she explained in an appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show. She said it was the first time in 25 years that she's able to smile, and I can see the inside of my teeth. So that's good news.
Oh, that's great news.
I'm going to show you a picture of how good she looks, actually. I think she came out better than all that crew. And she wrote a book about her situation. You know, that's another way you could support her. Yeah, look.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't she look good?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the name of her book. She released it in 2012. Getting It Through My Thick Skull, Why I Stayed, What I Learned, and What Millions of People Involved with Sociopaths Need to Know. That sounds appropriate.
Great title.
Wonder who that's about. All right. So, if you want to support Mary Jo, I'll include a link to her book. She's a real strong lady. Okay, now we're just moving up a year, Tia. This was a very scandalous era. We think about crazy stuff happening now. When you look on the internet, this world is crazy. It was pretty crazy back then, too.
Absolutely.
So in 1993, Lorena Bobbit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that scandal?
Yes, I certainly do.
How are we going to talk about that?
I'd rather not, but if you want to, we will.
We're just wanting to find out where they are now.
Okay, let's just do that.
All right, what word can we use? Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens.
I don't know. She removed a major organ.
An organ? Is it a muscle or an organ?
Huh?
Is it a muscle or an organ?
I don't know. Don't really. Yeah.
All right, let's just dive in. Take your children out of the room, and we want to find out where they are now. That's the whole point of this show.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's find out where they are now.
Well, first we have to explain to the to the children who don't know, but we don't want to explain this to children. To people who maybe don't know or need a refresher course. John Wayne Bobbit and Lorena Bobbit were an American couple, former married couple. They married in 1989. The relationship received international press coverage in 1993 when Lorena severed a major important part to John with a steak knife while he was asleep in bed. But the good news is, even though she took it and she threw it out the window into a field, they were able to retrieve it because she did tell them, well, I threw it over this way. These guys got out and made a really big effort to find it.
Right.
Because I think that was important to them too. I was like, we must find it. And some genius surgeon was able to reattach. Can you imagine reattaching all that is involved in making that work? And it was actually successful. That is truly the miracle. All right, she says she did it because he was abusive to her. He sexually assaulted her and physically assaulted her and mentally was cruel to her. She pled guilty by reason of temporary insanity, and she was acquitted. And she went on to start a foundation for domestic abuse victims. They had a volatile relationship. Their whole marriage was volatile. He initially denied the allegations of abuse, but when he started getting cross-examined, his case kind of fell apart. He was later acquitted of marital sexual assault in his trial. The jury found Lorena not guilty by reason of insanity, caused by the irresistible impulse to wound him sexually. She wanted to punish him in that particular way. As a result, she could not be held liable for her actions. Under state law, the judge ordered Lorena to undergo a 45-day evaluation period at Central State Hospital, after which she would be released. In 1995, after 6 years of marriage, they officially finalized their divorce. Now, how do you feel about her actions and her punishment?
I think that if they had a horrible marriage, then just divorce and get out and do not try to harm someone. But sometimes that's easier said than done, because there are people that are in domestic violent situations that they're unable to leave, because it's real easy for somebody like myself or you to say, should have gotten out. However, I don't think that she was forced to stay. So why inflict bodily harm on someone? Just leave.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
If he was asleep enough for her to be able to take a steak knife and remove, he's probably drunk or something, probably. You could sneak out. You know what I mean? I feel like she wanted to punish him.
Right.
Not just
that
leave
was
him.
The whole point. She said she did. She wanted to punish him.
Yeah. I didn't agree with her sentence. I wasn't there. I didn't witness the trial. Like you said, it's easy for us to say, but there's something wrong there that you would think to do that and act to do that. She could have stopped at any point.
Right.
She did not. She ran out with it in her hand. They said she was having a hard time driving because she had it in one hand and she was having to drive with the other hand. And I didn't like how the public reacted because they laughed. They giggled about it. Like, it's not funny. You know,
It's sick.
if it was reversed, if a man mutilated a woman sexually because she was having an affair or was abusive to him, then we would say he was a monster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, after the incident, and they got divorced, John attempted to generate money from his own renown by forming a band called The Severed Parts. Oh, that's very creative. To pay his mounting medical, I mean, he had to have a lot of surgery and follow-up surgery, his medical and legal bills, although the band was unsuccessful and failed to generate enough money. In September 1994, he appeared in the adult film John Wayne Bobbit Uncut. Creative, again, title. In another attempt to make money in 1996, he appeared in another adult film, which I can't really say the name of that, but I don't know if you can see that. He was trying his best to survive, Tia. After the attack and acquittal, it was revealed that John was the father of a son born in 1992 to another woman. So, he was not a good husband. He was not faithful. He was charged with abusing a girlfriend. On August 31st, 1994, he was convicted of battery and sentenced to 15 days in jail. The justice of the peace said, "I believe you have an attitude problem, and your attitude problem is caused by drinking." So I bet he was drunk when she did that. In 1998, he appeared in the World Wrestling Federation on Monday Night Raw. Not long after, he moved to Vegas and worked as a bartender, limo driver, mover, pizza delivery driver, and tow truck operator. He also, Tia, had a stint at a wedding chapel as a minister. He received probation in his role of a theft store in Nevada in 1999. In 2003, he was sentenced to prison for violating his probation for that theft. He was arrested on battery charges involving his current wife at that time. He was twice arrested on charges of battery against her in the same year. He filed for divorce. And he had a very eventful life after this. John was hospitalized in an extensive care unit as a result of a car accident. All right, Tia, if that's not enough, in 2024,
wow,
John said that he had to have his toes amputated as a result of toxic peripheral polyneuropathy, which he speculated was a result of exposure to toxic waters at Camp Lejeune when he served in the military in the 1980s. So, after all that, he lost his toes.
Is he trying to get money from that? Too?
I think he was. I think he was trying to sue the military. So, could you say he, maybe got his karma?
I don't believe in karma.
Okay. He got the way he lived his life, poor decisions.
I know, but nobody deserves to have something
I
like
agree.
that done. I don't care. Again, let's go all the way back to the beginning. I just think that they should have just divorced and just be done with it. And then we wouldn't be sitting here like talking about what all the crap he's done since then.
Yeah. He was found innocent of everything that she claimed, if I read this correctly. So none of that should have been punishment for.
It's just amazing to me that people want to go into the adult
It's where they all
film,
go.
and that just sickens me.
Yeah, I think when you're scandalous like that and you lose your job, everybody judges you. The adult film producers come out of the woodwork and say, "Why don't you popularize?" And those were creative names, I will have to say. Now, Lorena, as I said, she attempted to keep a low profile, and she changed her name to get her back to her maiden name, to Gallo, which was probably a good idea, because Bobbit became a
Right.
It got bobbited. And there's even in the military, there's a certain rocket that doesn't have a certain part at the end of it, and they call it the Bobbit rocket, if you can imagine. So she did make a mark on the world. In 1996, she visited her native Ecuador. She was from Ecuador, where she met with the president of Ecuador for an official dinner. He invited her to dinner. Sometime later, the two would join together and act as godmother and godfather to someone's child, and they attended the baptism together. He was greatly criticized for inviting Lorena to a presidential dinner. So they kind of felt like you do, Tia. In 1997, she made news when she was charged with assaulting her mother by punching her as they watched television. She was eventually acquitted of assault, and her mother continued to live with her. In 2007, she worked at a beauty salon in Washington, D.C., and then she established the Red Wagon organization, which helps prevent domestic violence through family-oriented activities. So you could call that ironic, or maybe she's trying to correct her mistakes. In June 2008, she appeared on The Early Show on CBS, where she talked about her life since the incident. In the interview, she said that she was in a long-term relationship with a man named Dave Bellinger and that they had a 2.5-year-old daughter. Although Lorena told Oprah in 2009 she had no interest of ever talking to John again, they did appear together on a show on The Insider in May 2009, and it was their first meeting since her divorce. On the show, John apologized to her for the way he treated her during marriage, claimed that he still loved her, and continues to send her Valentine's Day cards and flowers. Thoughts?
Both of them are just kind of repulsive to me.
There's
my thoughts.
I think she has anger issues. To punch her mom, even though she was acquitted, and to resort to that, I think.
I know, but I think that having the Red Wagon thing or whatever it was a joke.
Oh, you do? You wouldn't take her things seriously. You don't think it's like redemption?
I certainly would not donate.
Interesting.
Period.
So you're not feeling like big forgiveness.
No, not when you continue to do the same thing again and again and again. No, I do not.
Okay. He is tough. She's a tough crowd. All right, we're traveling to 2009, Tia.
If it has anything to do with adult film, then I'm out. I'm serious.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it's two.
Well, we're not promoting it, and we're not thinking it's a good thing.
I know, but wow.
I know. I mean, it's tough to make money, I guess, when you're in a scandal. It's called Scandalous. All right, well, let's see what happens. Octomom, 2009. Nadja Suleman. Do you remember her?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember why she was called Octomom?
Because she had, what, 8 children?
Yes. Like an octopus, 8. Octopus 8. Now, she actually already had 6 children before she had the 8 children. So let's try to figure out what was going on in her brain. Suleman began IVF treatments at the age of 21 in 1997. Under the supervision of Dr. Michael Kamrava, who was later expelled from the American Society of Reproductive Medicine. Again, what you would say, red flag, right? He got expelled.
And there were signs. Just
That's
saying.
what we should call this episode. And there were signs. I might change it.
Maybe need to.
Yeah, and there were signs. In 2001, Suleman gave birth to her first son, Elijah. In 2002, she gave birth to her first daughter, Amara. Suleman continued IVF treatments, which resulted in 3 further pregnancies. So that's 5 pregnancies, including 2 more sons, Joshua and Aiden, and 1 set of fraternal twins, Kalisa and Caleb, for a total of 6 children, 4 sons and 2 daughters. In 2019, Suleman revealed that her son Aiden was severely autistic, and it required a lot of her time, which we can certainly understand that. So she has 6 children, and 1 needs a lot of care. In 2009, Suleman stated that she had 6 embryos left over from her previous IVF treatments. She explained that she requested all of the remaining embryos be transferred into her uterus at one time. A woman her age would normally have the maximum of 3 embryos transplanted. Let me see how old she is. Go ahead and say what you think.
Okay. right there, I mean, is just, I was going to say ignorance, but no, it's not ignorance. It's just complete stupidity. Because you have 6 children, one with special needs, and then you go ahead and have another 6 embryos implanted. When there's people out there with 0 children that are in desperate need or want children, that have a mom and a dad there to care for them. And then you're just, I don't know. I mean, she is like multiple screws loose. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say I think she has had an issue. We'll talk about her. I was trying to figure out how old she was when she was implanted with those. Cause if she's 49 now and it's 2024, that was in 2009. People at home, you can do your math, but a woman her age, I mean, she wasn't really that old, can only have 3 embryos transferred normally. Suleiman says, Tia, here's her reasoning. Part of her reasoning for attempting a 6th presidency, I was about to say, why not? She might run for president soon, who knows? For pregnancy, her 6th pregnancy was so that the frozen embryos would not be destroyed. Now, can you respect that?
No, because she could give them to someone where they would not have been destroyed, but putting them in herself is just ludicrous.
Beginning with the first egg retrieval in 2000, Suleiman's extra embryos had been frozen and stored with this doctor. Despite this, fresh cycles of hormone therapy and egg retrieval were performed for each of Suleiman's pregnancies. So she had, if I understand that, she had all these stored already, but those kids we talked about her having were new, created new, rather than using those others. I don't understand that. Even though she had some already available every time she got pregnant before, she did that procedure again. In June 2011, during an investigation by the Medical Board of California, it was found that Kamrava had transferred 12 embryos, which the board found to be extreme and a departure from standard. Just like Miss Tia said.
Exactly. And it was the fault of the doctors as well. Both of them should have just...
Yeah. I feel like she was vulnerable and not quite mentally thinking clearly, and he should have been the voice of reason. Now, I wonder what his motivation was. Money?
Money.
After reviewing Suleiman's case, in combination with 3 other cases, the Medical Board of California voted to revoke Kamrava's medical license effective 2011. News of the octuplets caused an international media sensation. Public response was largely negative and even included death threats. Now that's insane. That wasn't you, was it?
Nope.
There has been much public discussion about Suleiman's decision to have the octuplets, including a major protest outside of her home. Many expressed concern that Suleiman's decision to have these children would burden taxpayers with financial support. Now, that never occurred to me. I mean, I thought she was nuts, but I wasn't thinking she's going to now get welfare because she's got so many kids. Suleiman claimed to be able to independently support her children, saying she was planning to return to school, her master's degree in, get this, counseling.
Oh, boy. There you go. She should have her license revoked just like that doctor.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Imagine going in and making an appointment with her and you walk in and you see 14 kids' pictures behind her. You're like, oh, you're Octomom.
Nobody, first of all, I don't think she ever became a counselor, did she?
We'll find out.
Okay. I'm sure she went into the adult entertainment industry.
Are you reading over my shoulder?
No, I'm just saying. Oh, wow, am I over it. Man.
We'll have a disclaimer that Tia does not approve of the adult film industry.
No, I do not.
Okay. Records show that Suleiman was unemployed after having received disability benefits between 2002 and 2008 as compensation for a back injury. she sustained in September 1999 during an incident in a previous job. So she had back problems before she ever got pregnant.
Which makes it even... I can't.
So she
I'll say something just mean.
Oh, you will say something mean? All right.
Yeah. I haven't yet.
Oh, yeah?
No.
Okay, so she's on disability, not working. She's had 6 kids. She gets pregnant with 8, but she says she will not be using taxpayer money. To me, that's not the point. The point is there's something wrong. There's something wrong, and the
Really?
All right, she's a woman with a dream, big plans. Let's say that.
What, to have her own village?
Apparently.
Okay.
So in February 2009, television host Dr. Phil questioned whether the octuplets would be released from the hospital, while Suleiman expressed concern about losing custody of them. So there was this question whether she was going to be a fit mom, I think. Suleiman bought a house in La Alhambra in the early morning hours of April 1st, the day she would bring home the 7th octuplet, because they were so tiny, they were in the hospital for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And as they got better, she could bring them home. Vandals threw a baby seat to the back of her window of her Toyota minivan. That wasn't you, was it? As of April 14th, 2009, all the children were home. And I want to say that is ridiculous and pointless and destructive and helps.
Okay, well, don't ask me if it was me.
Just kidding.
Well, don't do things like that. I can say that somebody's stupid, but it doesn't make me want to do something despicable.
Okay. All the children were home with their mother and grandmother at the time. The octuplets celebrated their first birthday in 2010. Suleiman told People magazine, "I don't get much sleep, but I'm used to that. Once one of the kids get up, they all get up. Some nights I don't sleep at all, or as little as half an hour. I can believe that. On a good night's sleep, I might get 2 hours. The longest I've gone without sleeping is 72 hours. It's hard, but I'm continuing to move forward with my life and trying to be the best mother I can be." Suleiman quickly became notorious with the birth of the octuplets. Within the first week, the media dubbed her Octomom. Now, it sounds like something Nancy Grace would come up with too, but I don't know. She had to hire a public relations company to help her with all this, to provide advice. They said they would do it pro bono if she just mentioned their name. Both groups started getting death threats, so they quit. She got a new spokesman. She appeared on many television shows, starting in 2009, Interview with Ann Curry. Suleiman rejected suggestions that her decisions were selfish and that she would not be able to care for her children, stating, "I know I'll be able to afford them when I'm done with my schooling. If I were just sitting down watching TV and not being as determined as I am to succeed and provide a better future for my children, I believe that would be considered to a certain degree selfish." Suleiman would make another appearance late in March in Dr. Phil alongside Gloria Allred. Gloria Allred had a list of criticisms regarding Suleiman's performance as a mother and homemaker. You know who Gloria Allred is? She kind of comes out of the woodwork anytime there's a woman in. I figured she was coming out to represent her, but she was against her.
Should have been.
Now, what about her justification there to you that I just read about? She's not lazy. She's going to go to school.
No, it was selfish. It was completely selfish, and it was just beyond bizarre. And so there's no way that she's going to care for 14 children, especially one with special needs. I'm not going to budge from that.
Okay. In April 2009, she received a deal for a reality TV show in the UK. I think it was kind of like Big Brother or Survivor. I mean, something where she had to be in a house, and which I could see where people would want to watch her and find out about her. She signed an agreement with Los Angeles Superior Court in July 24th of 2009 to have each of her children earn $250 a day to star in a reality show. So that's 250 times 14. And the filming was set to start in September of 2009. In May of 2009, Allred, Gloria, filed a case with the Orange County Superior Court requesting that a guardian be appointed to protect the rights of the infants. Later, Fox aired a 2-hour special called Octomom, The Incredible Unseen Footage. There were many parodies and other media events based on the story, including a 2009 musical performed in Los Angeles, although she was not involved in the production. Suleiman was featured in 2010 in the issue of Star, where she gave an interview, so that was probably good money. Several pictorials followed, focusing mainly on her weight loss. Do you remember seeing that cover of her fully pregnant in like a bikini? I mean, her stomach, as you can imagine, was huge. And then after, she got, I don't know if she did it, well, let's see if she did it naturally but that was incredible. So that was a way to make some money. In 2010, Suleiman was on Oprah Winfrey and Idol Gives Back, American Idol, in which she denied claims that she had received plastic surgery to lose that weight, that she actually just did it with determination and exercise, and that she refused to star in adult movies. Tia. She added that she had seriously rethought her decision about having all these kids.
You don't mean.
And she hoped to become a teacher one day.
Wow.
She was on Oprah Winfrey where she asked Susie Orman, you know who Susie Orman is?
Mm-hmm.
Financial person, to help her with her financial issues and give her some sort of plan or guide. And she admitted that she was a hoarder. So do you think she was like hoarding
Kids?
kids? Yeah. She said
Wow.
her hoarding disorder developed from childhood. Then she decided she would pose semi-nude on a magazine in the UK called Closer magazine. Got money for that. In 2012, she filed personal bankruptcy. She said she had $50,000 in assets, but $1 million in debts. Her home was set up to go to auction. Earlier, she was accused of neglecting her children while spending hundreds of dollars on herself for Brazilian blowouts and various beauty procedures. I remember she looked really pretty. I mean, she did. However, after visiting her house, social workers determined the children were not in danger and they should not be removed. Suleiman checked herself into a rehab center, a treatment center, in 2012 for rehabilitation for anxiety, exhaustion, and stress. Which, I mean, she basically
That she brought on herself.
True. I mean, she just kind of got away, and I wonder who took care of the kids.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Because all of her poor decisions fall on someone else, which, again, she's one selfish person.
She had been taking Xanax to stay calm, and so she was trying to get off of that too. So in 2014, she was accused of welfare fraud by the state of California for failing to disclose nearly $30,000 in earnings. You know, she was posing for this magazine and getting a check, but still getting her. She only got $26,000 to care for 14 children from welfare, and then she made $30,000. So $56,000 and 14 kids is not a lot.
No, but you shouldn't have had 14 kids to begin with. So, I mean, I don't know what else.
I know you're going to go back. I understand. Suleiman was sentenced to 200 hours of community service and 2 years probation for, defrauding, not reporting that $30,000 to welfare. And she had to pay a small fine. Her attorney said that with financial help from her friends, she was ready to repay the county system and repair her life. Before making her plea, she had been facing 4 felony charges, including perjury and welfare fraud. So they came to a settlement, which I think is good. I mean, it's not going to help to take her away from her kids. In 2012, she starred in a film, you're not going to like this, 666, The Devil's Child, a low-budget horror film that centers upon a couple that visits a woman they met on the internet only for strange things to occur. I assume she was the strange woman in the movie. Typecasting. In 2017, she was interviewed by Andy Cohen. She was paid for that. In 2019, she was on a current affairs program called Sunday Night in Australia for the octuplet's 10th birthday. She conceded that although at the time she was absolutely, she's going to confess to you, she was young, she was dumb, irresponsible, selfish, reckless. Even though she was all those things, she does not regret having her children. I mean, that would be awful if she said, I regret having my children, because they exist and they're 10 years old. What do you think about that?
I think she should have said all those things.
Okay.
I zero sympathy, though.
The feature noted that the household is run with military precision and the children were very happy, healthy, and well-mannered.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good. She did appear in an adult film in 2012 called Octomom, Home Alone.
Wow.
I know. And the only reason I say the names is because I think they're funny. I'm not trying to get people to look them up. She worked as an adult dancer in men's clubs. Whew, and sold some photos. Yada, yada, yada. And she did a debate with Michael Lohan, Lindsay Lohan's father, on who was the better parent. Now today, Tia, we left her off at 2012 there. Today, the kids are 15 years old. Noah, Malaya, Isaiah, Nariah, Jeremiah, Jonah, Josiah, and Micah. And then she does have her other kids. Her oldest kid is 21 years old, so she has 21 to 15. Now, I will say the kids they're all look beautiful and healthy and happy. They really do. I'm going to find a picture of them. And there's been no harm come to them that we know of. You know, she's never been charged with anything as far as that goes. So maybe she is some kind of superhuman, has superhuman energy, or I don't know. Do you feel like there's any redeeming? Is there anything she could do to make you like her?
I don't dislike her. I just will stand with what I said. I think that her decisions, regardless, when she was young, were just reckless. I do. But I'm glad her children are okay.
Yeah, she is their mom. She didn't skip out on them. She didn't abuse them.
That's good.
They're adorable kids.
But they get to pull their mother up and see how many things she did.
Well, that's true.
Okay, so that's good. Uncool.
I'm hoping that she has kept them apprised of everything. Let's see, that's not current. I'm showing Tia a picture of them. Oh, look at them. They're gorgeous. She is now 49 and hopefully wiser. And everybody seems to be doing it. There's all her kids. Amazing. I just can't even comprehend. And Tia, they live in a house that's got like 3 bedrooms. But hopefully, Children's Services keep an eye on her, and I feel like she's kind of redeemed herself. I mean, just playing devil's advocate. She did the best she could with that situation she created. The doctor, what was he thinking? Our final story, Tia. Tan Mom. Have you heard of Tan Mom?
I have not.
That's wild. It was in 2012.
I still haven't. I don't know. You can say the year. You can say, I mean.
I thought you might say, well, I was in jail that year, or I was in space.
No.
I was in a coma in 2012. That would explain. So we can't figure out why you don't know who Tan Mom is, but I'm happy and excited to share it with you because it's interesting. All right. What would you think Tan Mom would be?
I don't know. Did she take albino pills like my mom and my sister and myself did?
I'm still waiting for our letters from the albino community. We call them albino pills.
They are.
They're tanning pills.
They're for albinos.
So medically,
to increase melanin in their bodies.
Okay, I never heard of that. All right. Why would tanning be a crime? Why would it be a scandal?
I don't have a clue.
Her name is Patricia Krenzel, but we are going to refer to her as Tan Mom. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of her story, and then I'm going to show you a photo of her. In 2012, New Jersey mother Patricia Krenzel received national media attention amid accusations that she brought her 5-year-old daughter with her to a tanning salon in order for the child to receive a tan. Did you use tanning salons back in the day?
Yes.
I did too. And you were not allowed to bring children in, if I recall correctly, into the booth. I didn't have children, but I was thinking I remember that saying you had to be over 18 or to tan, or maybe it's 16. The child's school nurse had expressed concern over the little girl's sunburn, at which point the daughter claimed she had gone, quote, tanning with mommy. This prompted the school to call the Division of Youth and Family Services, as New Jersey law bans children under 14. Oh, it's 14. From tanning booths. Initial media coverage of the event resulted in widespread attention given to her because of her unusually bronzed image, leading many to speculate that she was tanorexic. Have you ever heard of that term, tanorexic? I think it's a bad term, to take.
It doesn't sound good if there's exit.
Yeah, exactly. And it just means you're addicted to being tan.
Right.
And no matter how tan
Anorexic.
no matter how tan you get, you think you're not tanning up. She was subsequently charged with second-degree child endangerment, and she was banned from over 60 tanning salons in the tri-state area. Patricia claimed that it was all a misunderstanding, saying her daughter was never exposed to the tanning booth's rays, and she got sunburned from playing outside. Now, I could believe that story. I could believe that a little girl is going to go out and play and get sunburned shoulders or on her cheeks, and she probably brought her into that booth because she couldn't leave her anywhere. She's like, go sit over there in the corner. I would be more concerned about her eyes. But she claims, the little girl said she got under the tanning thing. But I don't know. I could see where a kid might get confused about that. What do you think?
I don't know.
Does it sound believable to you?
What? That the mother put the child in the tanning bed?
No, that the mother said she was just in there with me, sitting in the corner, because I didn't have where to take her.
No.
Okay. So she was charged. Second degree. Was later cleared of the charge. At one point, she was challenged to stop tanning for 1 month, which she did, which greatly changed her appearance. She claimed it made her feel weird and pale, and that she would cut back on tanning, but no way she was ever going to eliminate it from her life. Connecticut-based business also attempted to seize and capitalize on the tan mom craze by creating an action figure of Patricia. So there was an action figure tan mom. Now that all sounds kind of like overblown and kind of silly to me. But because I'm so glad you don't know about this, Tia. Because I'm going to show you a picture, and I'll include a link for our... Okay, imagine somebody really tan. And we can, because we used to do it too. We used to be really tan. Okay, imagine somebody really tan, Tia. Here we go. And that's her with her daughter.
Okay.
Thoughts?
She doesn't look human. I mean, that's just nasty. I bet her dermatologist bills are astronomical.
Well, like skin cancer?
Yes.
She claims that she does not have skin cancer and has never had skin cancer. Now look at her little daughter's skin. Her daughter, since you guys can't see this photo, is pale and redheaded.
Right.
So it's I could kind of see her thinking her daughter does not look the way she wants her daughter to look.
Okay, but I wouldn't ever want to look like she looks.
No.
Ever.
It's crazy.
No, I mean, that's just disgusting.
I mean, if your skin is naturally that dark, that's beautiful, that's fine. But she was not made to look like that.
No.
But she couldn't see it. She didn't think there was anything wrong with it. And like I say, she felt really pale after she did it. After she quit tanning like that. So, she was free to do what she wanted to do. Now, she says she has cut back and she's normal now. This is what she looks like now.
That's not normal.
She's pretty dark. I'll include a link to that too. So what has she done since that happened, Tia? How has she made her money?
I promise, I will get up and walk out. If you say one single thing about adult entertainment.
Okay.
Not kidding.
Okay, here's our Instagram. I'll include a link to that.
Oh, my word.
Now, she has developed some sunspots.
It looks like somebody's chewed her face. That's not sunspots.
Okay, she is
89.
Let's ask Google. How old is Tan Mom? She's 55. She says she's a totally different person now. Close your mouth, Tia. Tia's mouth's hanging open.
Wow.
Now, we come from the era of, if you weren't tan, you weren't it. You had to be tan. I spent many a time on a tanning bed and laying out in the sun. We've talked about it in other shows. Holding something up to our face to make our face get darker, and wearing the oil, coconut oil.
Motor oil.
Yeah. And we're paying the price now for some of that too. So we get it. We get it, Patricia. But she says she's a totally different person now and no longer engages in extreme tanning. Now, she is engaging in tanning, obviously, when you look at her picture now. I changed my whole attitude on life. I've turned my life around. I don't get disrespected anymore. I don't go party, and I don't do crazy things. She said the incident has dogged her every day for the past 10 years. People recognize her, and it left her in dire financial straits. When Tan Mom hit, I was a wreck with all her lawyer's fees, in which ultimately the charges got dropped. So we'll talk about how we feel about it. It cost her, she had 2 houses. It cost her both of them. She lost her husband, and he recently died last summer from cancer. We had our ups and downs, but he was my best friend. She told Insider tearfully about her husband, with whom she shared 2 of her 5 kids, including now 16-year-old Anna and 13-year-old Addison. She relied heavily on her husband during the media spotlight. They took my whole soul. They took my energy, she said, referring to the paparazzi. She since moved to Boca Raton, Florida. Of course, she lives in Florida, where she has dated a bit since losing her husband. I'm not rushing into relationships. That's not the most important thing. I've always been a great mom. I'll continue to be a great mom. Anyone in my position at that particular moment would have lost it, and I had the energy to stay strong in my worst hours. In 2019, she was hospitalized for pneumonia and was placed in a medically induced coma. She had suffered a cardiac arrest and was also diagnosed with pancreatitis and infection of both of her lungs. She is a heavy smoker. We're not shocked by that. I have never heard her speak. Well, I have heard her speak a long time ago. I can only imagine how she talks. My whole body died and I was proclaimed dead. It was so sad. It's an understatement. She said, I didn't mean to get that dark. And she is relieved that she has never gotten cancer. Skin cancer. I wonder if any of that problem she does have could be caused by the UV rays, though. Pancreatitis and lung infection. She said, I'm here for a reason, and I have to make sure I'm here for my kids. I'm not dark anymore. I'm very happy. It was exhausting keeping that up. So, any final thoughts on Tan Mom? Do you feel like she should have been going through all that legal issue and all that drama?
No, but I mean, I just think that people that put themselves out there and put themselves in the spotlight, then, it's their fault for what happens that follows. I mean, that's just absurd.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, number one, I feel like her eyelash is crooked in this picture.
Okay.
I kind of feel like she had a problem, had an addiction, obviously had an image issue. She couldn't look in the mirror and recognize certain things about herself. And I don't think she meant to harm her kid, even if she had her kid on the tanning bed, which there's no proof that she did, and apparently the court didn't believe it because they dropped the charges. She suffered a lot of financial and embarrassment and became a joke. But maybe that was what was necessary to intervene with her to get her snap out of it. You know what I mean? To recognize that this is not normal. So, I mean, I wish the best for her. I guess that's a harmless to us, to the world, it's a harmless
Exactly.
scandal that she did compared to the other ones. So, Tia, let's just say briefly, we are going to be covering, speaking of golden, golden brown, Golden Bachelorette, which starts on September 18th. Is that correct?
Today.
Oh, today. Starts tonight, actually.
Yes.
Okay.
It does.
All right. So what Tia and I do, we're going to watch it and record our thoughts, but then release it the morning of
No, the next week.
the next week. Yeah, the morning of the Wednesday afterwards. And
Right.
then it'll come on, the next episode will come on that night. So what you'll have is a little morning recap for what you're going to watch that night.
Right.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And you'll get to hear our thoughts. Our first episode, we're going to choose our 5 fellows that we're attracted to, or we think she might be attracted to.
Okay.
She looked at me like, no. We're going to put ourselves in Joan's place. So you might want to watch the previous season if you want to catch up. But I think we'll still have fun whether you watched it last time, The Golden Bachelor, or you watch it now. We have some fun conversations about that and about love and dating and all that too. So it'll be fun. So we hope you join us for that. Now, I normally ask you, Tia, what have we learned today? Have we learned anything today?
Nothing. Not one single thing other than scandalous events makes Tia's blood pressure skyrocket and I have zero fun because it makes me mad at people that do dumb things.
Yeah. And we learned where they are now, what happened to them. Some have good redemption stories and are okay, and some did not have, which is such as life.
Was there anybody that had a good redemptive story?
Well, I feel like Tan Mom is
Okay.
kind of got her act together, and
Right.
Octomom's kids are all okay.
Okay, well, all right.
All right.
I'll agree on that one.
Okay, good. So maybe we can have a volume 2 one day, because there's plenty more scandals. We just got to 2012, so. All right, guys, we hope you had fun. We love you guys. Join us Sunday for Giggles and Gratitude, and start watching that Bachelor tonight. Golden Bachelor on ABC.
Golden Bachelorette.
Bachelorette, because it's Joan Vassos. She
Right.
was on last season. And I'm not sure what time. Probably like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I think that is
Okay,
it.
all right.
But that's Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
so
true. True.
I don't know
Check
what
your
time it
local
comes in.
listings. Is
Right.
that what professional
Yeah,
announcers say?
Exactly.
Check your local listings. All right. I love you, Tia. Thanks
Love
for putting up
you.
with me today. All right. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We would love to hear from you.
Leave your questions or comments on our voicemail by visiting our website at denaandtia.com. Your message may be played on the show.
You can find our Instagram and Facebook links there too.
Again, that's denaandtia.com.
Thanks for listening.